Good morning, founders, faculty, students, and honored guests. While I sat thinking of what to say for today, I really want to construct an impressive novel speech. Unfortunately, if I were a video game character, I would have decent stats in everything except singing and public speaking, which would both be zeros. So I tried to Google the top 100 speeches ever given. But I don't exactly have the background or circumstances required to deliver something like JFK's inaugural address or Martin Luther King Jr.'s I Have a Dream speech. And I don't think I can verbatim quote the Gettysburg Address and get away with it. The history teachers, at least, would notice that one right away, and we are not in the middle of a civil war. But while researching may not have resulted in a major epiphany, I did realize that all these speeches had one thing in common. The speakers were using their bully pulpit not to iterate what they thought everyone wanted to hear, but to talk about what they personally thought was important. And while I feel many things are important and deserve attention, what I want to talk to you about today is gaining a sense of balance. Balance may not be the most original topic. I'm sure you hear it often, whether it be in our core values or in the advice of various mentors. Repetition has caused balance to become simply a word for some people, one phrase among many. Yet its frequent usage is merely a testimony to its importance. Balance should be a way of living. We are not born knowing how to successfully juggle increasingly hectic lives, and so gaining the knowledge to balance is one of the most important skills that we can learn. Ideally, it should be cultured at a young age, when we are learning habits that will undoubtedly shape the rest of our lives. And yet, it is especially hard to learn to balance as students with such busy day-to-day lives. And now I apologize for bringing science into this, but we also physically lack the impulse control and decision-making skills that come with a fully developed frontal lobe at the age of 25. Thus, time management and equilibrium are not a youth's natural forte, and many have developed off-kilter lifestyles. Imbalance can occur in academics when you find yourself spending too much time on school or directing all of your attention on one class and letting the others slide. But issues with imbalance can come from more than academics. For instance, perhaps a person spends all of their time with just one friend, and thus their social life becomes imbalanced. Or they spend all their time playing catch or improving their basketball skills. Yes, we all want to be the next Kevin Garnett, me included, despite how genetically improbable that is, but spending all of one's time on a singular activity does not equate to a healthy, balanced life. Disproportionate living doesn't need to come from chronic behavior either. It can also arise from a night here or there when you look at the clock and realize it's 11:30, but you can't help but finish the book you're reading or the game you're playing and end up finally hitting the pillow at 2 a.m. You're not alone, I've been there as well. But whether it be momentary decisions or long-term actions, both can lead to one of the greatest consequences that comes with an imbalanced lifestyle: stress. A survey from Teen Help informs that 31% of teens report feeling overwhelmed. 30% experience sadness or depression as a result of their stress, and 36% of teens report feeling frequently tired. On top of that, 19 to 25% of teens do not actively confront their stress when they experience it. That is 1 in 4 stressed out youths who do not know the first thing on how to handle their anxiety. Stress is a serious, debilitating disease that eats away at high-powered young communities. Personally, I know that when I feel stressed, I have a tendency to shut down. I feel I can't do a single task at hand just because there are too many and I simply don't know where to start. This, of course, can lead to more stress when I can't seem to get anything done. Now, everyone reacts to stress and an imbalanced lifestyle in different ways. But most stress can be conquered in its immediacy if one learns to slow down, focus on remaining calm, and think through the problem. Breathing deeply and relaxing one's stance causes your body to automatically release chemicals that in turn ease your mind. But these measures are band-aids and not a cure. The bottom line is that stress is a negative occurrence that can often come from an imbalanced life and thus is oftentimes completely avoidable from the get-go. In the first place, Try not to create a situation that automatically garners stress. It is good to push yourself, but never to the degree that you can no longer do anything else besides work. For any age, focusing on one aspect of your life is not healthy, even if that facet happens to be a job or traditionally healthy habit like running. As the saying goes, too much of a good thing is a bad thing. For instance, if you take 1 million AP classes, you may not have the most relaxed year. I have never regretted my academic choices, except for my freshman finals. I got a C on my Algebra 2 test with the curve. But there have been times where I have taken demanding classes or had a lot of club activities to take care of and been tight on time. It is during those periods when it is most important for me to take a step back and balance my life so as to not become stressed out. Perhaps that would mean scheduling time to play basketball outside, or setting a timer and putting aside academic reading for a pleasure book for an hour or two on a weeknight. Learning to balance work and leisure to maintain a healthy lifestyle is unique to each person. For example, running is very relaxing for me, but perhaps is the exact opposite effect for someone else. Today and following, please become aware of what makes you happiest. Think of when you feel personally relaxed. Take the activity and make sure that you are able to spend time doing it every day, but don't spend all day, every day, doing it. Try to become balanced in your life because it leads to a tranquil mind. In conclusion, my message today is to find balance and not to overdo it on either side of the spectrum. Work hard, but play hard as well. Thank you. So now to this year's induction. The student receiving this award has been described by their advisor, and I quote, as a yes person. When presented with a challenge, she is the first one to say, yes, we can do it, end quote. She carries this attitude not only in academics, where she consistently receives many accolades as a highest honors student, but also in her avid outdoors lifestyle as a hiker who tackles the big mountains in New Hampshire. Her teacher described her as, I quote, truly a fiery, ambitious, passionate person. Just a very quiet and humble, fiery, ambitious, passionate person, end quote. This scholar may not be the loudest voice in the room, but nonetheless, she is a powerful one, both figuratively and literally, as she was a solid member of the Phantom of the Opera cast this winter. She carries her I think I can attitude in her singing as well, performing as both a soprano and an alto and handling all of the difficult parts. Wherever she goes, she does not shy from a problem or from a fear of being unsure. She is a force that will attack any problem, no matter if the situation is completely new for her. Her teachers describe her as a reflective, focused, and highly analytical person, with a pure joy for the simple act of learning. For her hard work and impressive ethic, it is my pleasure to announce Paige Voss as the recipient for the 2016 Peter S. Friedman Founders Scholar Award.